Hi guys, welcome. Today we are going to make strawberry jam with fresh strawberries. It's going to be so good. Oh my goodness. So if you've never made jam before, it's actually very easy and you don't have to have any special equipment. You do want a pot that has a really good base on it though to distribute the heat evenly and help prevent burning. I am going to use my Presto electric canner to process it just because it's easier. It times it. I don't have to watch it. Once I put it in there, it's done. We will need to heat the jars up before we fill them because we are going to be putting a hot liquid into the jar. So we want to make sure that the jars are at a similar temperature to the jam that's going into it. Otherwise, we do have the chance of actually having the jar crack. So we will get those set up. I would like to welcome you to my backyard Kentucky homestead. My name is Kim, and let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is get the strawberries washed, and then we're going to go ahead and hull them and smush them up with a potato masher. So let's get started. So as we did with the peach jam, if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. Delicious. I've got these soaking in a water bath with a little bit of vinegar just to help to decrease any kind of mold or spore stuff going on. So what I'm going to start doing is just rinsing these off. And if your strawberries do have any bad spots, depending on how far gone it is, go ahead and toss it or cut it off. That one's a little bit too ripe. That one doesn't look very good either. Otherwise, these look really, really nice, very fresh. You want really ripe strawberries, but not too ripe. Okay, so what I have here are my strawberries. I have a bowl that I'm going to put my pieces in to mash. And then I'm going to measure them and dump them in this bowl because what we are looking for is a total of 6 cups of crushed strawberries. To hull the strawberry, I'm going to pull the leaf back, go down kind of like in a V, and then come back up. And then I'm going to go ahead, try not to get any green leaves in there. Smush or cut that up. I'm going to get several in there, and then I will take the potato masher and crush them. And with the canning, you want to be sure to follow the recipe so that the amount of product that you have in there is consistent to what has been tested both for safety, and in this case I am using a low sugar pectin. So I want to make sure that I have the right amount of fruit in there for the pectin. So it's about a half a cup, 5.5 more to go. I do have more strawberries in the refrigerator, so I will be doing these in individual recipe batches according to the directions because I don't want to take the risk of having the pectin not set. I did that last year, and when I tried to do 2 batches at once, I did not have the results were not as good. So we have our 6 cups of crushed strawberries. I'll go ahead and pour those in. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Make sure we get all the good bits out. So what I'm using is the Sure-Jell low sugar pectin. And what we need to do is to take the packet, mix it with a 1/4 cup of sugar, mix it up. This helps to keep the pectin from clumping. And then we are going to put that into the strawberry mixture, in there. In the pot, we have 6 cups of strawberries. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to go ahead and get that stirred up so it does not clump. And then I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of butter in to help reduce the amount of foaming that it does. Foaming doesn't hurt it, it just isn't pretty. Okay. So then we will stir this till it comes to a full rolling boil. And what that means is that we cannot stir the boil down. So even though we're stirring it, it's still going to do a really heavy boil. So we're going to go ahead and get the jars warming. We're going to go to boil bath canning. And we're going to go for 10 minutes. Then to warm it, we're going to put some water in each of them. And then about 3/4 of the way up. Put the lid on it. Go ahead and take this off. I canned some green beans, so I was using the pressure canner, but we don't need that for this. So we are just hit go, and this will start warming the jars. Keep stirring it while it is heating up. So it is continuing to boil despite the fact that I'm stirring it. Okay, so what we're going to do is take that off the heat. So what we're going to do, we're going to round the camera, so give me just a second. You see this foam around the edges, we're going to skim that off. This is optional, but it makes it look better. Okay, get that back on the heat, and then we are going to take our 3½ cups of sugar, pour it all in there, bring it back up to a rolling boil again. I just love the texture change. It goes really, really glossy right after you put the sugar in there. It's so smooth and silky looking. Okay, so we're going to take this off of the heat. And as you can see with the Presto canner, it's telling me now to fill the jars. So I'm going to go ahead and take the cover off. And then using tongs, I'm going to go ahead and grab the jars. You do want to use something like this because this is almost boiling, not quite, but it is very hot. And you want to be sure that you're safe and you have the jars secure. So take it up, dump the water back into the pot, and then we're going to move it over to our workstation. So what I have here is my funnel, my debubbler, and also my headspace measure. So if I put this on the edge of the rim, I want to have the strawberry come up to touch the very bottom of the tool. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take off just this little bit of foam. Okay. And then get a ladle. Start putting this in there. Okay, we want about 1/4 of an inch of headspace from the very top of the rim. And what we want to do too is make sure we don't have any air pockets. It's not as big of a deal with the liquid items like this, but if you're doing any kind of relishes or any beans or vegetables or anything like that, make sure you do make a mess. Just gotta make a mess. It's good. And then also what I'm gonna do is I have vinegar in this bowl, and I'm gonna use it. It will help remove any sugars, or if you're doing meat, any kind of fat from the edge of the rim, which will prevent the seal, could very well prevent the seal from completing, and then you'll have a seal fail. So clean jars. Also, I did not sterilize the jars. As long as you are boiled, bath canning, or processing for at least 10 minutes, you don't have to sterilize the jars anymore. If you're doing 5 minutes for like jellies, the Sure Gel recipe for jellies is only 5 minutes. You would need to sterilize the jars. So we're going to put the ring on there, fingertip tight. So it goes to, you meet some tension, and go back, ow, 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 hot, 1/4 inch turn. And then we're going to put this puppy back into the canner. Let's finish this before my camera overheats again. So I've finished filling the jars. I have 8 jars in there. Now we need to add water to where it's 1 to 2 inches above the top of the jars. For boil bath canning, you need to have 1 to 2 inches of water above the top of the jars. For pressure canning, you do not want to have water over the neck of the jar. So this is the one that needs to go in the washer. So for pressure canning, you would not want to have water, say, above this port here. You don't want to go over the shoulder of the jar if you're pressure canning. For water bath canning, we do need to have 1 to 2 inches on top of it so that they're completely submerged in the water. So this way, we're going to put this on, shut that, and then we are going to hit go. It will now heat up to the boiling stage. At that point, it will then start the countdown for 10 minutes. After it runs for the 10 minutes of boiling, it will then start the cool down process. So we will be back shortly. It is a couple of days later. I did finally get all of the strawberry jam made up. I had about 10 pounds of strawberries that I got locally. And I ended up with 21 jars of strawberry jam, which is absolutely delicious. So I have to say, all of the jams that I've made myself, preserved myself, are so much better than what you can buy at the store. I'm not really sure why, but the flavor is just beautiful. So beautiful jar of strawberry preserves. I also just canned up 19 jars of peach preserves. So check out this video if you're interested in seeing how to do that. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.